Mark Stone returns and the power play comes to life as the Golden Knights hang on for a 3-2 victory over Dallas over the weekend. We will talk more about Friday's win next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Start of a new week. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. FanDuel is America's #1 sports book. Chris, coincidence or not, Mark Stone returns to the VGK lineup, and the Golden Knights scored twice on the power play on Friday. He had an assist to Tomas Hertl, who only scores on the power play against Dallas. What are your thoughts? VGK was, what did we say on Friday? 1 for 19 or 1 for 18 on the power play going into that game, and then a couple of power play goals against Dallas. Good morning.
Sorry, I thought you were going to yap for another second there. Listen, the power play goes through Mark Stone. And the power play, I don't think it was that bad, but it was rough. They were in a rough stretch, no doubt about that. Mark Stone, certainly his return gave the power play a lot of juice, and it gives them two options in that bumper position, right? We've seen Stone score from the bumper. We've seen Hertl score from the bumper, and Stone is just such a dynamic passer in the power play. It makes things a lot more difficult. Golden Knights are back to where they started the season with their power play, with Olofsson up there as well, Theodore playing the quarterback position. And who do you guard? What are you guarding for? Because Eichel is no problem ripping a shot if need be. Stone and Hertl are going to be in front of the net or getting the puck to the front of the net. Olofsson is there for his one-timer. Theodore is going to find all four of them, and it's fun. It's fun.
Yeah, Olaf from Frozen, he's on the power play unit, #1, right? Still? Isn't he on there? Yeah,
Yes.
now that he's come back and Stone's been back now for all of one game. You said Stone wouldn't play on Friday. Come on, man. He has a whole week to go to spleen recovery classes. And then
if Stone's playing on Friday, he's got full clearance and he's ready to be out there, and it's good. I mean, get the game, and then he made the comment, get the game, get some recovery days, see how he responds. So it made sense why they played him on Friday.
#9 scored his 9th goal of the season on the power play, so he's in that groove. We'll talk about Eichel later on much more, but he's in that groove right now.
He's amazing, and like you said, we're definitely going to talk about what he's setting himself up for right now. And the evolution of Eichel has been fun to watch, right? We get a taste of what he can do in his first partial season with the Vegas Golden Knights. Say partial because once he started playing, it was February that year or something like that. Whatever it was, you get a little taste of what he can do, and then the Golden Knights win the Stanley Cup. We see what he can do on both ends of the ice, and now we've seen his ability to put this team on his back. If Jack Eichel were to, and again, I don't want this to happen, but if Jack Eichel were to have some type of season-long injury today and he couldn't finish the season, that would just absolutely derail everything that this team is capable of. Mark Stone is a different importance to the Golden Knights. We've seen the Vegas Golden Knights find ways to get by without Mark Stone for each of the last 3 seasons. Well, each of the last 2.5 seasons up until right now. You take Eichel out of the equation, and that would be a massive blow for the Golden Knights, setting himself up for so many trophies at the end of the year, and most importantly, carrying the Golden Knights right now.
Yeah. And Aiden Hill, once again, spectacular in net. He's in a zone. He stopped 38 of 40 shots. He took the elevator up top to be on the post-game show the other night to talk more about his selection to Team Canada.
That's risky enough, guys. For those who've been in the back of house elevators at T-Mobile, that's a risk. You may not come out alive on those things, or make sure to bring food, because one time we got stuck and get stuck for a few minutes. Bring food. That's all I'm going to say.
Seriously, you got stuck on the elevator.
Me and Marsh got stuck. The thing was like going up and down between floors once, and yeah, that was dangerous. That was not fun. That was not fun at all.
VGK gets a little sloppy late in the game on Friday. Marchmont scores his 12th goal for the Stars. VGK goes some like 14 to 15 minutes without a shot on goal, I believe, to end that game. They got a
Yeah,
little
I mean,
sloppy.
listen,
Little
Dallas.
slippage. Yeah.
Dallas was pushing. I mean, again, Stars are a good team. The Golden Knights beat a good team. But the Stars are a very good team, and they're going to put everything on the line when they need to, and they're going to find goals late in games when they need to. And is as much sloppiness as it was. I mean, didn't that puck bounce like a couple times? Yeah. So thinking back about that goal, just a great play. I mean, I'm watching the visualizer right now. So you got kind of like a shot pass from the point, Tony. There you go. A shot from the point.
Already this early in the week. Come on, man.
Wyatt Johnston tips it to Marchment, who controls it in front of Aiden Hill and just tucks it in. So, is that a breakdown or just a really good play by the Stars? I think it's mainly a good play by the Stars. It's going to happen. And again, bend, don't break. We saw that against Edmonton earlier in the week. Bend, don't break. Same deal here. A lot of bending against the Stars in the third period, but they didn't break. And 2 big regulation points. And I know it's not a 4-point divisional game, but it is a 4-point conference game. And these are the types of things that will matter at the end of the season. Golden Knights hopefully aren't going to limp into the playoffs like last year. A lot of season left, a lot can change. But for now, the Golden Knights are looking for one of those coveted, top 2 spots in the conference, a division championship. And yeah, games like this matter, especially for home ice, should the Golden Knights and Stars have some type of rematch in the playoffs.
I think the big question now when we're talking about VGK is, does Mark Stone stay on that top line? How are things going to be shuffled about? Tomas Hertl moves down to center number 3 for VGK.
Hertl on the third line is good.
Is that good?
Hertl on the third line is good as long as the defensive side of his game develops. Hertl, we've seen him much better in an offensive situation, mainly the power play. Third line, we've seen William Karlsson in that role for the better part of the last 4 or 5 years now. William Karlsson's role, his line, if you will, is to shut down the opposition's top lines. And I think that doesn't change a whole lot, honestly. I think it's just more of a formality filling out the scorecard and wherever Bruce decides to write Karlsson's or Hertl's name, because you're going to see the Karlsson line more or less out there in those stressful circumstances throughout the game. Obviously, it'll be a little bit different at the end of the game, but you'll see, especially when you got a team like the Stars with a Wyatt Johnston and Heiskanen out there, and all their top players. No Tyler Seguin, correct? Sagan's out with the injury.
Sagan's out 3 to 4 months. Yeah,
and
with
then
the hip surgery. Yeah.
Another reminder: there's a lot of there's only a few certainties in life: death, taxes, and Jamie Benn taking a boneheaded penalty. Speaking of boneheaded penalties, Mason Marchment with the snow and Aiden Hill as well.
Nice snow job. Yeah,
it was absolutely a good snow job. It's unnecessary and good on the refs for realizing it. And also, I think you give a stick tap. I forgot who the defender was who the VGK defender, but they reacted to it right away and went after Marchment. I think that's partially of what triggered the call as well. But listen, Marchment could have done a better sell job, right? There's a circumstance where you can get away with snow in the goalie. You race to the puck, you hit the brakes, but Marchment had the entire right side of the ice to appeal to, and he just decides to give Aiden a little snow job. Aiden brushed it off, and power play Golden Knights.
So what do you call that penalty? I forgot what the call was.
It's unsportsmanlike.
That's weak.
I mean, they could create
old-time hockey. No, never would have happened.
Old-time hockey, the players didn't go fast enough to snow each other.
This is true. Very true. With the double blades that they had.
But to be fair, they also didn't, going back, obviously, 25, 30 years ago, they weren't shoveling the ice and stuff during the period and stuff like they do now. So there might be a little more debris out there.
Coming up next is VGK's top scoring line. Is the top line sustainable? Is it? We're using that word for the first time in forever. Is it sustainable?
It's a good word.
Back with more after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Get ready to tackle more NFL action with FanDuel. It's America's #1 sportsbook, because right now new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app, it gives you everything that you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place, So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com. Come and join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. And we are brought to you today by Prize Picks. That's right, Prize Picks, the best place to get real money sports action. Over 10 million members, billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. All you need to do, more or less, is to pick at least a couple of players, and you get your shot to win up to 100 times your cash. That's right. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks puts its members first. All withdrawals are very safe. They're fast. They're friendly. I don't know about the friendly part, but they're fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I get my money in as quickly as 15 minutes. So sign up today, and you will receive $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It is guaranteed. Prize Picks, the best way to win real money fast this football season. So check it out. I see it all over social media. Again, download the app today. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll receive $50 instantly when you play $5. It's Prize Picks. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. A little zest in that read there. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Of course, on Fridays, WTF. Without a head football coach at UNLV this morning, Soto goes to the Mets for $5 million. I didn't know I was going to have more separation anxiety. If
How much for Soto going? Wait, you said Soto to them? Wait, $5 million? Wait, what? Huh?
So there was just a $5 difference between the Yankee offer and the Mets offer. Sports radio's going ballistic today because he went cross town to the Mets.
I saw a stat. Let me see. I put this out there last night. It's just a reminder of.
It's a good thing you showed up for the show today. I was like, everyone's leaving me right now. So they're just leaving me.
So here's a reminder of where the NHL ranks in the grand scheme of things financially. There have been 7 contracts in NHL history to hit $100 million in total value. And then Ovechkin, Draisaitl, Weber, VGK, great, Crosby, Kovalchuk, there you go. Speaking of salary circumcision, McKinnon and McDavid. So those 7 contracts equate were $100 million or greater. All 7 of those combined don't equate to the Soto deal.
Yeah, it's ridiculous loot. It is, and yeah, it's just crazy money.
Take the money. I don't blame them. Nor do I blame the UNLV coach. It's just take the money.
You got to take the money and run. Yeah, great run here at UNLV for Coach Odom, and now he heads to Purdue University in the middle of the night, pretty much. We wanted to talk about 28 games in, and the scoring has been unbelievable for VGK's top line. And in some instances, if VGK's top line gets shut down, they don't win games, right? So 28 games in, is this top line scoring sustainable? That's our question in this segment. Brilliant.
I mean,
what a brilliant segment. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
For the first 4 or 5 games you watch this, okay, I don't know if this is sustainable. And there was some crazy numbers early on. Like, I forgot what the numbers were, like 18 points in 4 games or something. Like, it was the numbers that were happening early in the season were crazy. Well, I think the Golden Knights, that was game 27, was it? Yeah. It was game 27. So we're officially in the middle third of the year. So there's a pattern now. This isn't, I don't think, what's going to end up being an outliner. This is certainly a pattern. 89 points in how many games I wrote right down? 70. It's crazy what's happening right now. The number of points, they're averaging 1.27 points per game right now as a unit up there. That's pretty remarkable. I mean, these are numbers that an Austin Matthews line puts up, a McDavid line puts up, a McKinnon line puts up. this is uncharted territory for the Golden Knights, as is what Eichel is doing. We're going to hit that obviously in a little bit. So the fact that the Golden Knights do have this line to turn to, this hero line, this video game line, if you will, it's going to keep Vegas in every single game, and the power play is not going to hurt that as well. So we'll see if it can continue. But 4 or 5 games in, okay, I would have told you that this probably isn't going to continue. 8 or 9 games in, it's not likely to continue. Once you get to 27 games, this is who this top line is. This is, I mean, it might fall off a little bit, but I think their point per game as a unit is going to be far greater than 1 throughout the rest of the season, which is pretty remarkable.
So, you know what we need to do for this week's show when VGK plays again sometime this week?
Thursday they play again, Tony. Knock it off.
I know. So
every team gets one of these bye weeks, Tony.
All right, reserve your answer till later in the week, but we need to do something here. So VGK has scored 99 goals, 99 goals on the wall, 99 goals for VGK. So only, I think, the Jets, the Panthers, who else? The Canes. There's like 5 or 6 teams that have scored more goals than VGK, but they're they're in the top 10 in goal scoring, which is pretty amazing, right? When they lost all those players. I mean, all those players left town because they couldn't handle it here anymore. So we need to try to make a prediction on goal number 100. We'll do that later in the week. Maybe
we're going to score first on Thursday against the Jets. That's where you're getting to, that long story.
It'll be the magical goal number 100. It could be the ENG by Carlson. I told you Carlson's numbers would be down. I told you. Okay. So you look at that VGK top line, right? You're looking up his numbers. I know.
There you go. Right.
Jack Eichel, 39 points and 9 goals. He's a plus 12. We'll talk more about Eichel, as we mentioned, coming up in the third segment. Ivan Barbashev, 28 points, 13 goals, a plus 13. Who else has been on that top line? Dorofeev, 17 points, 12 goals. And then Stoney, I call him Stoney like that, 14 games, 22 points, a plus 8. Oh, yeah, the only guy who's a negative there is Dorofeev, a -4 on plus minus.
Even Cal Burke getting a chance on that top line. I mean, it's just,
did you have to throw Burke? But did he start? No, I don't think. I was just going.
He was on the top line, I think, for 2 consecutive games.
It was, right?
At least one as a starter and one where he got moved, but he certainly was on that top line.
Okay, he's a -72. No, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know why Burke. They just were shuffling things.
Burke is a +2. Burke is a +2. I
mean, +2.
That's the thing, and this is where Golden Knight fans are going to be chomping at the bit. You look at the season that Marchessault had last year. You look at his Conn Smythe here. You look at what Eichel is doing. You look at what Marchessault is doing without Eichel, and everyone's going to quickly judge Marchessault based on that, and based on data through 20-something games for each of the players in their new circumstances. Eichel without Marchessault in a new team. It certainly leans towards Jack Eichel being the driver of the success that Marchessault had. I think there's a lot more to it than that. I'm not going to drag Marchessault like every other VGK fan, but Eichel certainly is the driver up there. Mark Stone's a pretty good player too, and Mark Stone is helping Eichel when he's on that line as well. And again, Barbashev, I'll still put it out there. I didn't get dragged necessarily, but I put it out there. Was Barbashev's acquisition the most important in VGK history? And when you look at the numbers, how Eichel's improved and everything, it certainly dictates that Barbashev is a big part of that. I think Eichel before Barbashev was averaging like a point in like 82, 83% of his games. And post Barbashev's arrival, now Eichel is over the 1 point per game threshold. And then you look at Marchessault's success. That was, don't give it all to Eichel. Barbashev gets some credit. Look at Mark Stone's success. So Barbashev as a driver at keeping the top lines scoring sustainable is helping. Eichel and Barbashev are cemented on that line. Mark Stone, I think, is the X factor who could get moved to the second line should they ever want to create some balance. But to be fair, when Mark Stone was not on that top line, you saw things kind of slow down a little bit. So I think Mark Stone probably stays on that top line. But if Vegas is ever in a spot where Cassidy's got him in the blender, putting Mark Stone with Hurdle and Brett Howden might not be bad.
Now, you were talking about Marchessault, and story yesterday in the Tennessean
He's
was
chirping
about,
right now. He's chirping.
well, Marchessault says you show up, they set the lines in the morning, and then he goes to the arena and he's on a different line. He said there's just no consistency. And so, well, right now, I think Andrew Brunette is definitely on the chopping block for sure. He's on the clock, as they say. Maybe Trotz comes back and goes behind the bench, and Nashville comes to Las Vegas during the break, their break, and they don't take them to the Grateful Dead show, and then they go on a tear of 20 some odd games.
Yeah, I mean, what's happening over there? Is Nashville down there or over? I think it's just directly over there. I don't think it's down there at all. I think it's like
I think,
equal.
well, if you're Bruce Cassidy, it's
knock
up
it
there.
off. Knock it off. It might be up there a
It
little
would
bit.
be up there. It's way up there. It's like in the north, I think.
Trotz has given Andrew Burnett's a lot of tools, and maybe there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I mean, this isn't LeBron and Chris Bosh and D Wade all getting together creating a super team and it's all going to click. Although it was nice watching it not click. I think the Mavericks knocking them off for the title the first time they got together. That was absolutely amazing to see. I loved every bit of that. It's not as easy in hockey. Apparently, you can add some pieces that will help teams, but just taking one team who had a lot of good pieces and boom, in come three, superstar caliber players. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Maybe Andrew Burnett's not that good of a coach. I don't know. But this is where the GM and the coach start pointing the finger. And I mean, we're talking about the same coach who put out the wrong friggin' starting lineup. They fill out the lineup card, hand it in, whatever happens, and then
I forgot about that.
They have a different lineup out there. I think it was the Kraken assistant coach that caught that pregame they were talking about, and they start. I mean, I've never heard of that in my life, starting the wrong lineup and getting a minor penalty. And
yeah, he's done. He's done.
I gotta think he's certainly in a tough spot, and there's obviously some coaches out there. Maybe Gallant makes a comeback down in Nashville. I don't know.
I'd love to see him resurface. You know what I think of Gerard Gallant.
Yeah, we like Gallant.
Coming up next is Jack Eichel on his way to some NHL hardware. We'll get to that. We return right here on this Monday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Welcome back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every single day. Of course, so you could find us wherever you get your podcast. I did like that rundown last week where it was Locked On Golden Knights with all these true crime podcasts. That was fantastic. That is my kind of gal. And thanks for listening, obviously, wherever you are tuned in. And don't forget Friday's WTF. Saturdays, it is the Chris times Chris Jr. show sometimes. Great weekend. We were up last night with the Vegas Thrill. Of course, you say I talk too much about them, but we took the team out to Glittering Lights over at the Speedway, and we greeted cars, and the women were singing Christmas carols, and we had hot chocolate. We had a great time. It was beautiful out there. Great night, something that you definitely need to check out. We got some good photo ops, and I got some video of the women singing Christmas carols. It was fun. It was a good time out there. Season begins on January the 10th. And who had more separation anxiety? Me losing the college football coach and Coach Odom, and me losing Soto to the Mets, which really sucks, or William Karlsson losing Jonathan Marchessault. Very sad. Conjoined twins. I think I called them last season.
I think Karlsson's okay, Tony. I think Karlsson's okay.
Okay.
I'll go on a limb and say Karlsson's okay right now.
Okay. If he lost Pokemon, though, we'd be in trouble. Jack, right? Okay. So Jack Eichel is trending towards having a huge season. Could he be in contention for the Hart Trophy? What else is out there? Could he be a Lady Bing contender? What hardware could you see him in contention for a third through the season?
November 26th, I put a tweet out there. There should be some type of conversation right now. Art Ross, and Selke. And then, depending on the moods of the voters, is my next precursor, I guess. Lady Bing, King Clancy, Mark Messier. These are all the different awards and trophies where Eichel's name, depending on how things finish out, will be talked about. Hart is basically the MVP. Selke, two-way player. Art Ross, who that sort of player leads in scoring. We'll see if he leads in
What's
scoring.
the Ted Lindsay trophy? What is that one? There's so many trophies
Ted
here.
Lindsay, formerly the Lester B. Pearson Award, presented annually to the most outstanding player, as voted by fellow members of the NHLPA. I think
So he'd be up for that. I mean, I
he
think
would be. Let's
I think
see,
people like him. I think people do like him in this league, other
Mark
than
Messier
Buffalo.
leader. I think he's liked a lot more than people think around the league.
I think the players like him. I think they do. They respect him for sure.
I think the respect is definitely better than what it was 8 years ago for him. I'll certainly go on that. You got the Mark Messier Leadership Award, leadership quality to his team on and off the ice. That's another great one. Lady Bing, the nicest player in the league, says sorry when when a penalty is given. Stuff. No, that's not what it is. But William Karlsson, former Lady Bing winner, I believe.
Yeah,
Season 1, right?
yeah. He
So
had one penalty that year. He was hugging players. That was it. I think.
So we talked about Eichel in the first segment. We talked about Eichel in the second segment, and everything is going through Jack Eichel, and maybe another topic along with Eichel, because we got a couple days. We got 6 topics we got to make our way through before a game day. Maybe it is next contracts for Eichel and the expiring free agents, what they might command and things like that. Because Eichel, not this year, but I believe after next season, I believe is when his contract expires. And is there a world that exists where, like you're writing it down right now, is there a world that exists where Eichel is not a member of the Golden Knights come the 2027 year, I believe, if I'm getting my years right? What kind of money is it? I mean, I put a poll out there a while back, and I think my top line number for my 4 options was 12 million plus, and a lot of people are thinking there could be a team involved, even for as far as a per AAV, 13 million. So,
wow.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how many trophies he stacks up. If he stacks up a few trophies and he's a Team USA standout, that drives up the price of poker a little bit.
Yeah, and no, I was just jotting down how underpaid NHL players are, comparatively speaking, to the other major sports.
No, they're not underpaid. They're paid
They
on
are.
the amount. They're underpaid based on the amount of revenue that comes in.
Right.
So does that make them underpaid? I don't know if underpaid is the word to use.
They need to figure out a way to get more of a revenue stream in.
Sure,
somehow.
or the players they want to get paid more. They should be baseball players.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
that's their choice.
So let's say you are a Brett Howden making $2.5 million. Now, when you play in other cities, you get taxed on your paycheck. That $2.5 million is not a ton of money. So if they're playing, let's say in Detroit, they get taxed there on the paycheck. You know that, right? They get taxed in other cities where there is a state income tax on their checks because they played there and performed there.
You're saying if that were to happen?
No, I believe it is. It does happen. Look it up, bro. No,
I'm curious. I'm curious. That's weird. I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I've never heard of that. I know, like at times when I was a member of the workforce, when I was a member of the traditional.
$2.5 million might be like 700,000-800,000 when all said and done.
Yeah, I'm curious about that. I know, like I've gone to work in other states and stuff, and I was working on the Strip and things like that, and my income never changed when I did that. So I don't know. I mean, I've never heard of that. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. That's something I think people have been pushing for, Tony, because you're seeing all these articles popping out where places like I think Vegas and I think Nashville is another one. Where they have an advantage because of the tax circumstance. So I think there's been discussions where you're taxed based on your schedule and stuff like that, and that would factor into free agents maybe considering some of those Canadian markets a little bit better. Canada's one crying about all this, obviously. So I'll look that up. I'm curious. I don't know about that, but I'll look it up.
It'll be a topic this week. This is how things evolve on this show.
Yes, this is a planning segment.
You know what? So yes, another idea on the board. You need a board there. Okay. Okay. In some sports, right, minor sports, you could get sponsorship money to pay players additional money. So, like outside of a cap, right? You could get sponsorship money. Well, we
Like
look
Derek
what the
Stevens for UNLV, some little
no,
nil
well,
money.
look at just think of what the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority did in
Oh,
giving each
don't get me
of the
started on the
WNBA players
Browns.
$100,000 to call them
They're
like
a
influencers.
bunch of shysters over there between that F1 and all that stuff. They're
No, but seriously though, I mean, maybe we could head in that direction. Oh, we were talking about awards for Jack Eichel. So
fair, yeah.
a little bit, a little bit through the third of the season, a little bit ahead of that. What do you think? How many trophies do you think he'll win by the end of the season for individual effort?
Over under number of trophies.
A
So
half.
the trophies
It's
I
got to
wrote
be a half.
down 1,
A
2,
half.
3.
A half
I
because
have 6 trophies. 1.5,
okay.
I think, is the number.
I'll
I
say a
don't
half. I'll say 1.5.
1.5, and I'll take
No,
the over. Just
I'll take
why not?
under. I got under. I got
You got one
definitely have
trophy.
under.
One trophy.
I have
0
under.
trophies.
I have under. Well, every time people start talking about these individual trophies here, it goes sideways.
Yeah, and
Goes
listen,
sideways.
I mean, we're going way ahead of ourselves, but if the Golden Knights do make a deep playoff run and make it to the Stanley Cup final, Conn Smythe will definitely be. I mean, Conn Smythe, I think Eichel was second in the Conn Smythe voting or second or third the year Marchessault got it. So
Yeah.
that's another trophy. So technically 7 trophies if the Golden Knights do go on a run. And I think, I mean, I've flipped. The Golden Knights have checked all the boxes I wanted them to. I think this is a good team now, and Eichel leading
Kiss
this
of
good
death.
team has been fun.
Yeah, kiss of death. How was he doing in the face-off circle? Did you check that out? Because I
I
know
think he was still around
not very good.
46%, which is
He's got to get up to
still an
50.
improvement.
Yes, but he's got to get to 50, right? For
And
him to be in
and
contention.
this far into the season, I don't think he's going to get to that point, because I
then
mean
it's going to take away one award.
It would take the Selke away. Cassidy himself is the one who did make the comments. I don't have it, so I just have it on a per game basis. So really quickly, there's been 28 games.
I told you 28. You said 27. 27, bro. 28 games.
Looks like Eichel has been south of 50% in the circle for roughly probably about more than half. He's been south, but he has some games where he's got like 77% in the circle, 61%.
Okay, so
like
what
there's
is he now?
There's only a couple of games where it was really bad. He had one where it's 33%, but in general, he might be over 50% right now. I don't know why Hockey Reference didn't total this for me.
We have plenty of time this week to look.
Yeah, no, we can certainly dive in deeper to this, but
yeah, because that's something that can help to solidify, right, a trophy for him.
Oh, the Selke would be 50%. That would put him in the top in the 3 finalists if he gets to 50% the way he's playing right now.
All right, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you, everyone, our everydayers, wherever you are at around the globe. Fridays are WTF. Saturdays, the Chris and Chris Jr. show. Sometimes I said, have you done one lately?
Been a while.
It's been a minute. Can you do one Saturday,
tough,
maybe?
Dude. It's tough, man. It's so tough. It's so busy.
I know. He's growing up, man. He's got like things to do, places to be.
Play hockey in the front all day on his rollerblades? Yeah.
Wait a second. So you went to the teddy bear toss, didn't you?
We did. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so recap.
It was fun. They scored 1 minute and 1 second into the game, which I think the Silver Knights staff wasn't ready for. Reason I say that is because they have 4 people up on the catwalks with boxes and boxes of teddy bears and stuff that they toss down. The teddy bear toss starts and everyone's chucking. And then all of a sudden I notice, like, right in front of the Texas Stars bench, it's raining lucky things, and the players are getting hit in the head by them.
I got hit in the head.
You could tell they're getting pissed off by it and stuff. But
dude,
it happened early. It was fun. It's awesome to see, and it was a good environment. Like, it was. I hope this is something that they can capitalize on, because there was a great vibe down there in Henderson. It was fun. It was festive, and they're doing a lot of giveaways right now. Just they need to keep it going and find a way to keep butts in the seats.
Do you remember I said on Twitter I was going to pour gravy over some guy's head with the gravy boat? I would really like to do that, like slime him. maybe like Nickelodeon style. Uh, I told you before, I got hit in the head with a teddy bear. I was broadcasting a game at the Thomas and Mack, and it was raining teddy bears. They quit doing that because there's not enough fans to throw teddy bears. Sorry. But
there was a skirmish
I got
that
hit in
broke
the
out
head.
during a teddy bear. It was on my Twitter feed this morning. As the teddy bears were raining down, there was a fight breaking out. That's amazing. I'll find it later and I'll repost
somewhere
it. But I
outside
found it
of
this morning as I was waking up.
not at the Silver Knights game.
No, it
Because
was not the Silver Knights game.
Well, that would give them some publicity. They should have staged one. You should have like mixed it up with the town
Fleming,
crier.
get out there and go drop the gloves.
You should have dropped the gloves with the town crier. We appreciate everyone tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. Please take care.